Okay, we're live. All right, everybody. Hi, Self-Care Queen Octavia here. If you are on with us today, please give us a like, give us a shout out, say hello, type in the comments. I have the amazing, incredible, I love this woman. I just met her, but I already love her, Rhema Flowers. She's a holistic lifestyle strategist. Her infectious energy and charm is serving to inspire, empower, and enroll women into their own vision of a healthy, vibrant, energetic lifestyle. Rima will share today with us her story of moving from a corporate single mom to a yoga instructor and how she applies and teaches self-care tips to busy women during these unprecedented times, these crazy times.
Crazy times.
Crazy times. Welcome, Rhema Flowers.
Yay, thank you. So nice to be here.
So good to have you.
And I think that we still have a little bit of a delay, but I mean, other than that, I think that, everything is rolling. So I think we're just going to roll with it, right?
You have to roll with it. Yeah, that's how it is.
And that's actually like just a really good segue into, some of the things I'm going to talk about today. Life is just not perfect today. Like, yes. We talk about unprecedented times. Yes, that is where we are right now.
Yes, exactly. I know this day has been it's been a little off. And I think part of it is because it's been so gloomy here. Like we finally in LA have got the fog of the smoke going on. It looks like doomsday outside,
Truly. I mean, I have friends that have posted pictures, that are in the Bay Area and their sky is truly orange. And, thankfully, gratefully, ours is not but it is. I mean, like the sun, I remember going outside a couple of days ago. I'm like, why is the sidewalk red? Why is it red outside? And I'm walking outside and I'm like seeing the smoke that the sun is coming through. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So we want to hear your story, Rima. We want to hear all about your corporate journey into the holistic lifestyle because this is great. I loved it. So go ahead, tell them.
Oh, awesome. Well, yes, I was a corporate marketing director. I worked on some really big names: Coors Brewing Company, Panera Bread, Tecate Beer. I mean, like there, so I represented a lot of Fortune 500 companies in advertising and in marketing.
Okay.
And it was very rewarding, really rewarding, a lot of fun, a lot of work, a lot of stress. And at that time, I was during all of that, I had, become a mom and I'd gotten a divorce. And I'd been in a new relationship, and this was kind of the beginning of the end of my journey of corporate. And I found myself in marketing and advertising at that time. My experience was when sales were not good, that's the first thing that they cut. That's the first thing that companies cut is their marketing or advertising budgets. They bring those down because, they got to cut somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, for someone that works at an advertising agency or they work in marketing, your budgets are cut, so you get to do less, or maybe they don't need you at all. Getting rid of advertising agencies and stuff was just like, it was the norm. People went from agency to agency, or they brought it in-house, or they got rid of it altogether. So the atmosphere in an advertising agency was very competitive, let's say, very competitive. And you're as good as the sales were yesterday. So it doesn't matter if you had like your best day they had their best day in 10 years yesterday. Today is a brand new thing, clean slate.
And wow. So, hey, Susie Q's on. She connected us. I want to say a quick hi. Hi, Susie Q.
Hey, Susie Q.
Thanks for watching, girl.
Absolutely. Lots of love out to you.
Yeah, it's crazy. The corporate world in general is just it's very cutthroat. It's very demanding. And it's just, what's next?
Yes. And I traveled a lot when I was in corporate. So my travel was probably 75, 80% of what I did. And so I was gone a lot, and I was a single mom, and so the stress, the travel, the not winning on the relationship front, not winning on the parent front, not feeling like I'm winning at home. I was just not, I felt like I wasn't winning. There wasn't an arena that I was excelling at. And yet I was doing all the things. I was doing all the things. And I actually used to carry around Bear aspirin because the commercials say that it'll, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. That's how stressed I was.
Yeah.
And I carried around Bear aspirin thinking like, okay, well, the commercials say it'll thin your blood. And, that was my survival technique. That was my survival technique. And I wasn't eating healthy. I was eating on the road. I was doing what I could and, and in a hotel room, and okay, well, I got in too late to get food, so I'm going to eat the Pringles and the chips and whatever's in the mini bar. And
yeah, I used to travel for work, and it was like the one place I got to stop and eat was at the airport, which everybody knows.
Oh my God. Even to this day, if people are telling me they're traveling, I'm like, what airport? Oh, Salt Lake City. They've got great restaurants. Oh my gosh, go here. Oh, where are you? Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay, let me tell you, go here. I mean, like, that was... I never thought about it like that before, but yeah, that was what I knew. Airport food.
Yeah, yeah.
And so grateful that actually now they even have like vegan food and really, really good food in airports. So very thankful for that. But that's where I was. That was my survival guide. And then I was actually praying, believing everything for a change. I loved the people that I worked with. I did not like the work that I did. I didn't feel like it was meaningful enough. I felt like I had a different calling, and I didn't know what that was. I knew what I didn't want, but I didn't know what I wanted to step into.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I would just pray. I was just miserable, and I felt ungrateful. Because when I would complain about my job, people would say, oh, you should be glad you even have a job. There's a lot of people that you're not working, and your job is so glamorous, and you get to meet, certain people and celebrities and travel. And so I felt ungrateful. I felt like I was living a lie.
And a lot of people are feeling like this right now. They really are. They want something different, but they don't know what it is. They just know what they don't want, and a lot of people think traveling jobs are like these amazing jobs, but when you're constantly on the road, and especially as a mom, and you don't get that time with your kids, it's not all that it's not all that's cracked up to be, or what people make it out.
Yeah. And I'm not seeing anything when I travel. I remember I would think I was in Miami or somewhere at one point. And so the meeting is going on. I had to use the restroom. So I go into the restroom, and the ladies' restroom has a window. So one of the walls is a window looking out into the mountain, not mountains, but looking out into the city and everything. And I was thinking, and the sun was shining, and I'm like standing at the window like, I'm like, I remember another time going to Chicago. I remember in the cab ride, it was like cab ride into the meeting, cab ride back. And the guy's like, oh, there's Fenway Park, and there's this and there's that. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying the travel. I'm not seeing anything but the inside of a hotel room, conference room.
Yeah.
I could be in anywhere. I mean, there's several times I've woken up in a hotel room and I'm like, okay, where am I? Where am I? Or I walk outside for the rental car and I'm beeping because I don't remember. I'm like, one looks like the other, so I don't know. So it's not like I was enjoying. It was like, oh, fun and travel. It was an obligation.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you make the shift? Where was the big shift for you?
So when you don't choose for yourself, hear me on that. Yeah. When you don't live deliberately and you don't make the choices for yourself, life makes the choices for you. And so as I've been praying and believing for a change, I got laid off. Yeah. Okay. I got laid off in January. My daughter had just entered college, Boston University. And I was like, no, no, this is not what I meant. No, God, no. Take it back. Take it back.
Take it back.
Erase. And so I had started yoga maybe several months beforehand. And so I'd been practicing yoga for about a year-ish now. And I started practicing yoga because I was stressed, and I worked with some ladies, and they said, you should try some yoga. And I'm like, I don't have time for that nonsense. I really don't have time for that. I'm stressed. I got a job. I got to do this. This is real life. I don't have time to play yoga. And that's not anything that, appealed to me.
Yeah.
I ended up going to a yoga studio really to shut them up. So they were talking about it for a long time. And I was like, I'm going to go to show you that this doesn't work. And I was smitten from the first day. Smitten. And so when I got laid off, I called my friends who were the yoga instructors. I ended up making friends with, and they wanted to expand and open a studio. They wanted me to join them. And again, I was like, I'll practice yoga, but I'm not going to play yoga. I can't leave my job, golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
Because I've got a daughter in college. I've got to pay for this. I'm a single parent. I've, rent, and, there's a lot riding on it. And so when I was laid off, I was like, okay, you know what? I am going to approach this a little differently. I knew enough because I had started practicing yoga, a few months before. I knew enough to okay, breathe. You can't panic. You get to just take a breath. And you get to, okay, what can you do here? What can you put in here? And I had been moving from, different jobs in marketing and advertising. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can make something else work. And so that's when I decided to make the shift and teach and, own the studio full time. And so I went into full-time studio ownership at that point. So within the next 30 days, the opportunity had been there. I didn't take it because it didn't come in the package that I thought it would come in. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be like a different looking package. So I never took it. So, I'm dropping all these nuggets along the way to let you know, when you're asking for something, when you're believing for something, you get to take a look at stuff that even if it doesn't look like what you think it should look like, you get to look at stuff and you get to be open to receiving. And so I wasn't open to, it took me being laid off for me to be open to receiving what yoga can provide for me.
Well, and a lot of us, it takes being in a pandemic to be open to receiving
exactly.
something,
Exactly. I've had that conversation with friends. It's like the pandemic had to happen for ABC, all the things that are coming out of the pandemic. I can't wait for the book and the movie, right? But the things that are coming out of the pandemic, it took a pandemic for whatever to happen.
Yes.
We've got social injustice, we've got racial issues, we've got child sex trafficking, we've got a rise of women, we've got so many things going on right now that people are paying attention to that they would not have paid attention to if we not been in a pandemic.
Yep. I have to agree 100%.
So that's what it took for the world to pay attention.
Well, slow down and focus. We were so in our just go, 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 and we didn't stop to think, and there's so many fires. I mean, no pun intended with the fires going on, but there's so many fires that have been going on, just one after the other, plus our lives. And now we've had to slow down and really take a look on the inside, and on what's going on the outside and be like, no, this ain't right,
Exactly.
We need to stand together and fight and fix this, and it's been amazing.
It is. It's amazing. And there's so much opportunity. I mean, I know there's some people that look at what's going on in the world and politically and, economically. And they're like, oh my God, we're going to hell in a handbasket. And then there's many of us that look at it like opportunity abounds. Oh my gosh, we got to get on it. We are light workers. We got to get on it. People are in need, any support that we can offer can be offered up. There's so much opportunity right now to make a mark in the world.
Yes,
and maybe it took a pandemic for us to recognize that the opportunity was always there. It was always out there. It was out there before the pre-pandemic. The same opportunities existed, post-pandemic, during pandemic, there's different opportunities out there.
Yeah, I agree. And for myself, I've grown so much. I mean, even just with the Black Lives Matter movement, I came to a point where I opened up about things that I had just been burying so deep, and it was so comfortable to bury it that I didn't even know it was buried until finally I realized the world is listening. And I couldn't sleep that weekend. I remember that weekend I couldn't sleep. I was like, I have to get this out. I have to say this. And it was like a burden just lifted off of me, as well as I've pivoted my career into something I never thought I would do. And I'm having the time of my life, and I'm growing and I'm moving and I'm shaking. And it's been like the best thing I ever did. And I've also just really immersed myself in my spiritual practice, doing my Kundalini yoga, doing my Kundalini meditation, with Susie Q and my sister Ella. Just, it's been a huge personal growth for me, plus having my family together, and I'm sure the same for you. It's like my family is here. My husband is not out of the house for 12 hours at home. I make him
think like a pandemic would bring families together.
Yeah, and he gets to watch his daughter, who's 2.5, like in her like most amazing moment of growth and time, where she really needs us as together as a family, and she's got us both here at her disposal.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is awesome because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
there's so much, and you even mentioning like the Black Lives Matter movement. It's like, there's things I'm learning so much that I would not have learned, that I would not have been exposed to at the degree that I'm being exposed to it right now.
Yes.
About learning about the history. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I did a talk about a month ago because I was taking it all in. I'm devouring so much. And I'm like, gosh, there's so many questions. And, so I wanted to create some sort of a safe space where if people had questions, but they didn't know how to ask them, they could. And then I had like, a few people on that, it was just a discussion around what's possible now. And, we got to talk about, the things that we were learning and where we could go, from here. It was just really good. It was awesome. And that's something that would not have happened without a pandemic, without the, protests and things like that. That would not have.
No. In all these years, I mean, I don't know how old you are. I'm 41, and all this time in my life, I never felt compelled to speak out. I did.
Exactly. And it's amazing. I absolutely love it. I love the time that we're in. I love the women's movement that is, occurring right now. I truly believe that, where the world is and the rebuilding of the world, the healing of the planet is going to come through the efforts of women. Yes. And that's part of what I do. And I feel called to support these women. Right. So like I'm personally not politically inclined, or I'm personally not, starting a, venture or something like that. But I can support the women that are. I can help them step into a healthier life so that they're empowered, so that they're inspired to go out and do whatever they're called to do. There's women out there right now thinking that, oh, I'd love to do that, but I can't for, I get headaches and I'm not sleeping well and I'm hurting and I'm not as stressed out and I'm not, and whatever their not enough story is. And I feel called to empower and to uplift these women so that they can go out and get and serve the world in the capacity that they're called to.
Yes. So,
how you and I came together, and why I love what you do, because like the underpinning of what I do is self-care. Like, pour into yourself, girl. I want to say, pour into yourself, and with your self-care, I'm like, yeah, there should be more. There should be like billions of you in the world.
Thank you. Well, I just really feel that if you take care of you're taking care of yourself. You're filling up your own cup first, so that this is something I got from Susie Q, but you can overflow into the rest of the world. When you feel good about you can take a step back and shine your light onto other people. When you have that light glowing, and if you don't have your light glowing, then you're just another person out there who's grumpy and, sad, and you're miserable in some way. But when you have that light inside you shine it on somebody else, then you've sparked a reaction. It's like it's a chain reaction. It just keeps going and going. That person's like, hey, like you made that person feel good. Now they feel good. And then they shine that light onto somebody else, and that person shines that light on somebody else. And it's just a chain reaction that then the whole world is lit up, because you took care of you at home and you felt good and you went out on your day,
Yeah.
Yes. So sorry.
No, that's amazing. That's exactly, what I would say. It's, what an amazing gift we are to our families and our communities and the world when we pour into ourselves. Because you've had these days. There's days when you are on top. You've had a win, and you're like, bring it on, life. I got it. And you're like, so, and that's where you want to operate from.
Yeah.
And days when it's just like you're just dragging. You're just like, someone says good morning to you, and you're like, why did they say it like that? Oh God. Right? I mean, it's not, you can't even handle a good morning from someone.
I know, right?
Why'd you say it like that? I'm a failure. They know, or somebody doesn't say good morning to you. It's like, oh my God, they know I'm horrible and I'm a failure. And right? So, and that doesn't serve the world. That doesn't serve you. That doesn't serve anyone. So pouring into you is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the necessary. Less thing that you can do, because to use the cup analogy, if you fill your own cup to overflowing, you can serve others from your saucer. You're not trying to serve from an empty cup that you're turning over and you're like the dregs of the day. Okay, I'll no, you get to you get to stand up, and again, that's self-care is just so important. And that's what I'd like to teach, pouring into yourself. The more you can pour into yourself, then the more that you can go out there and conquer. Because again, there's so many of us out there that are doing a lot.
Yeah.
When I was in corporate, I was doing a lot, and and I still felt like I was not enough. I was running an account. I had a whole team under me. At one point, at the advertising agency, I ran the biggest account at the agency. Talk about stress. I had the biggest, and the gentleman had, recently opened the agency. So yes, everything rode on this account. And I had like junior people that reported to me. So I was training them. Mm-hmm. And I, and keeping the client happy. And it was the client was twofold, because there was a client in the US and then a client overseas. So, I had to keep both of them happy on top of, keeping happy the owner of the advertising agency. And they like to shoot out of the country. So, a trip to Argentina from California, easy 17 hours. And if I have to spend 2 weeks out there and then come back, did I mention I was a single mom?
Yes.
I know. Did I mention I had little kids?
What you're saying is how so many, and especially women, we don't feel enough. We don't feel enough, and we're doing so much. We still don't feel enough. We're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we're mothers, we're the cook, we're the wife, we're the cleaner, the whatever, and
we're the daughter. We're taking care of aging parents.
Yes, yes. and you still don't feel enough. I'm wondering, what's your perspective on this? Why do we feel like this? Because even I'm doing a lot and I still feel like that sometimes. I'm a self-care queen. I still feel like that.
Exactly. And you know what? And it's not to say that those moments won't come up. They still come up. You're the self-care queen. Those moments still come up for you. I teach a healthy lifestyle with self-care, and those moments still come up for me. But the difference is I put in place some things so that I still get to prosper. I still get to, reminders. I've got reminders as I look around my room, my office, I've got reminders on the wall. You are freaking awesome. I do. I have one. You are pretty freaking, doesn't say freaking, awesome. That is right in front of me as I look right now. But I can look. I've got another one that says, you're doing a great job. And I've got one. What if I fail? Oh, my darling, what if you fly? I've got reminders all around me, to remind me so that because they're going to happen. That's just what life is. That's our journey. That's what life is. It's going to happen. But when you post reminders all around, it's like having me or you in their pockets or sitting on their dresser every day that's going, girl, you got this.
You got it.
Do this. And you know what? And let's say it just all goes to shit one day. You just have a day, we all have a day that is just not, hey, we're going to go to sleep and we're going to wake up and we're going to try it again. And it doesn't mean that we are horrible. It doesn't mean that we're a failure. Just because you lost the spelling bee doesn't mean that you're a failure. All it means is that you lost the spelling bee. That's all that means. Don't make it mean anymore. Don't make it mean that you're horrible, that you can't spell, that you will not ever go to college, that you will, don't make it mean any more than it is. That's all it means. You get to just practice that little part. That doesn't mean that you're a complete failure in life. And I know when I was there, I would lose a spelling bee, let's say, I would fail at something didn't get out on time, or someone on my team, didn't get something out on time. And I made it mean so much more about me and who I was.
Yeah.
And I don't have to attack my whole everything. I can just let it mean it. All that means is that happened, and okay, great, I get to fix that. I liken it to the gas gauge on your car. When the gas gauge on your car moves towards empty, you don't get mad and throw away the whole car. It's like, oh, okay, that's an indicator. Okay, I need to get some gas.
There you go.
Someone on my team didn't get something out, and this happened and that happened. Okay, you know what? Let's meet and see, okay, where can we put that back together? It doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean anything about them. I don't get to make them feel shame no, we get to get another process in place. We get to, that's all it means. It's a gauge.
Yeah, just
a gauge.
Yeah. Adjust your crown and get back on the throne.
That's all it means. And it really is, you can make it really as simple as that. There is mantras that I put into place. I used to have a mantra that said, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Oh my God, there's no time, enough time in a day. I don't have enough time. And what showed up for me was not enough time, scarcity in time. And so what I did was put in place, every time I caught myself saying, I don't have enough time, I would say, oh yeah, I do. Actually, I have enough time to do everything I need to do. I have enough time to do everything, because what it does is it starts to shift. It starts to shift your thinking pattern. Because no, we don't have enough time to do everything, but there's a lot of things on our lists that we don't have to do.
No.
We're involved in a whole lot of things. A lot of us can't say no, or can't say no comfortably, or can't say no as a complete sentence.
I like that as a complete sentence.
So we get to look at our values and look at what's important to us. And that's another thing that right now is showing us, the pandemic and the world. Look at what's important to you. Although there's little things, going to a concert, that we're not doing right now, that's like, oh, I miss that. Or, so you look at the things that are important to you, and that's what you get to put in to your life. And the other stuff you get to let go. You get to let go. Yeah. And so there is enough time. Time is a great equalizer. If you find yourself saying you don't have enough time, you're doing the wrong things. You're really focused on the things that are not important to you. You're focused on the little things. So you get to put your big rocks in. You get to focus on the things that are important to you, because there is enough time. Everybody in the world has the exact same amount of time.
Yes, we do. That is right.
And there's people out there that are achieving way more. One of my mentors has 4 full-time jobs, and she's raising a family, and she spends time with her husband, and she's not stressed. She's not overwhelmed. She is not chasing her tail, because she is prioritizing. There's a lot of things she does not do. I don't do that. That is, something I get to take off of my plate. Yeah. We all get to make those decisions also.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have to make those choices for ourselves. So we've got just a couple more minutes. Is there anything else you want to add? Like your favorite self-care tips, anything?
Woo! I shared a lot of really good ones.
They're perfect. I mean, if that's, that was it. I want to let you know you.
What? I think reframing is one that, I think when I talk about there's not enough time. Yeah, there's enough time. I don't know how to do this, or I can't, or anytime you say something, any kind of limiting belief, anything that does not empower you, switch it over to something that is empowering. Saying, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how to start. I have no idea. You can switch it over to, actually, yeah, I do. I know exactly what to do. Even in the face of not knowing what to do.
Yes.
If someone asks you how many stars are in the sky, I don't know. Actually, I do know. Because the information or whatever you need is out there. First of all, the internet, you can learn anything on the internet for free.
Totally.
The answers are out there. So I would say, if you find yourself saying over and over, oh, I'm exhausted. Oh, I'm trashed. I'm so tired all the time. Switch that to, actually, I have enough energy. Or, and if saying, okay, I have enough energy is maybe a reach for you. Maybe you're like, yeah, right. Reach for, actually, I'm shifting, I'm changing, I'm getting an energy. I'm changing right now. I'm working on having more energy. Saying something that is a little bit more empowering, because then you'll see that your brain, things start to show up in your space, in your environment, that shows you, yes, you have enough time. Yes, you do know. Yes, you can do it. Yes, here are things that are going to start to show up.
Yeah.
And,
mindset.
Yeah. Mindset for sure. It's awesome.
Thank you, Rhema. Thank you so much. This was awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed this talk. Rhema, did you want to do a little something for anybody? If you
little plug.
What to do?
They can find me, Rhema Flowers, on Facebook. I have a couple of Facebook groups where I go in and I talk to different people. They can look for me on Instagram, Rhema Yoga on Instagram.
All right.
And if they get in touch with me, I actually will put my email. So my email is rhemaflowers@gmail.com. So it's RHEMA flowers, like what grows in your garden, @gmail.com. And if they mention that they saw me here, or mention you, or, that they're connected with you, I'll do a free one-on-one, like a strategy session.
Nice.
Where, we can go through like life, and I can give them some tips, things that they can put in place right away, and, have like some sort of a plan. So happy to do that for your audience for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I am looking forward to spending more time with you and connecting.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I appreciate the work that you are doing and putting out in this world. Thank you so much for that. Very generous of you.
I received that. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like us, comment, say something. And happy Thursday. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.